Hang up your coat, kick off your shoes, grab your favorite beverage, and join me for this week's best steals and deals on four wheels. So this week's nominations are really focused on trying to find the best value that we can across the web and shopping a bunch of different sites to find what would serve as a great core for the Twisted Duster package. And like our other cars, we had a rendering done in my favorite color, Plum Crazy, but of course, they are available in different hypo colors. The cores that we were hunting for, again, we're looking at cars that are less than $20,000, are a solid starting point. We, of course, combed the web to see all of the inventory that's out there. Some of the nominations we're going to share with you today, some of these are finished cars, but some of these are finished cars that we wouldn't cut up, of course. They're ready to go, street cars, race cars, something that you can really enjoy. And then we also look at cores that are available that make for great builders. They're solid starting places. And most importantly, in this economy, they're an affordable starting place, which is this blue 1974 Duster. The reason I picked this one is that it's already a manual. It's got really nice wheels, what look like road wheels or maybe Keystones. And it is a manual trans with a pretty nice interior to get started with. So from that criteria, it is one of the more expensive cars, but again, it is in a finished condition coming in at 19.5. This car is in Blairsville.
The next car we're actually going to look at in our nominations is also from Blairsville. So this is a
Oh,
showroom that Hemmings is featuring. Blairsville is a quiet town. They've got a small population, nothing too crazy going on there.
okay. Okay. So great point that this is a Hemming score. So this car definitely made the nominations. It almost made the cut into one of our top deals for the week. But because it's so finished, my suggestion is this car is basically ready to go. You may have a different driveline you'd want to use, but for the most part, I think that this car is kind of a turnkey. So lots of photographs. Of course, we found it on Hemmings, but you can also visit the Tri-State website if you want to learn more, or you can find the link through our database. The next one is a brown and black hooded striped car with rally wheels. Again, one of our nominations. It's a 1974 Plymouth Duster. Didn't make the deal cut only because it is over the threshold of the 20,000 that we are trying to keep our body under. But otherwise is a really nice car. It is sitting on rallies. It's at that same dealership, and the real bonus to this car is the VIN is a 360 engine VIN. So if it's the L code car, that makes it a real 360 car, and that gets me pretty excited. Now, remember on Steals and Deals, we haven't had the chance to see many of these cars in person, but from the photographs, this car looks like a really, really nice starting place. I don't know how most people feel about a black hood. I really think it's nice. It kind of offsets the color, and I love that root beer color. So, Matt, I don't know if you had any thoughts on this one. It's also, again, in Blairsville, but what a score, I think, from a nominations perspective.
I definitely think, yeah, definitely a real score, and that root beer color is cool. I think that the color scheme on this car for somebody who's gonna use it for street use
Yeah,
and the interior, definitely a good one. But yeah,
yeah.
I would feel bad cutting this car up, especially with those numbers.
The next nomination is really caught my eye as we were searching around. We found this one on the Boise Craigslist in a town called Eagle. This is a really well priced package. Now, keep in mind, because it's a twofer, you're getting two cars, you're getting a Duster and a Valiant. You've got to be able to pick up both of these cars and get them off the property. But the benefit of that is that you're really going to come away with a lot of spare parts. The cost of this twofer is $2,500. You're getting a four-door Valiant, which I think is a 74, and then the Duster, which I think is a 73. And again, really, really nice kit. I think it'll give you a great starting place. And the Duster, from a color perspective, I think you could get by with some patina. Looks like a really solid car. And again, these two cars, if you're on the West Coast, it's a little closer for you. If you're in the Midwest like us, it's a little bit of a drive. But they are in Eagle, Idaho, and they come as a pair. So that was a really cool nomination we wanted to share with you. The next nomination is a Hemi Orange Valiant, 1974. It is located in Go Sport, and we found this one on Facebook Marketplace. This car has a really a nice setup. The reason that it was nominated and didn't make our deals of the week is because it is not a Duster. It is a Valiant, and it's a hardtop car. But for the twisted build that we have, doesn't fit that particular criteria. So it's definitely worth mentioning and sharing. The seller also has a video online, which I really like because you get a chance to hear it and get a walk around. It's mostly restored. I'd say it's pretty much finished. I think it's got some really tasteful mods. As you can see, the interior's really nice. Lots of really good engine chrome, aluminum radiator. Looks like the car was really well taken care of and put together. Would make a great driver as is, and the price is pretty solid to me at 13.5 because what you're going to invest in paint and driveline alone is going to eat up most of that kind of money. So I think this is a really great nomination. So let's get into the last nomination. Last nomination for this week is that Plum Crazy finished, ready to go race car at a cost of 28,000. It is a 1970. It's in Windsor, Colorado. We found this one at the Fort Collins Craigslist, and I really like this car. I think if you're going to get into a first race car, a Plum Crazy Duster in the 70 is just a real nice way to go. Some tasteful mods, aluminum wheels. He's got the big block with the motor plate, electric water pump, so you've got the ability to cool down in the pits. Aftermarket aluminum wheels. It's already got hood pins, slicks. You could pretty much count on being able to get this car to the track within days. It's got the Dana 60 with the 70/30s in the rear. Does have an exhaust system, what looks like Caltrax and sliders. Fuel systems aftermarket. Batteries already in the trunk. It's got a roll cage, fuel cell in the trunk, and it looks like it's well done as well. So just overall, I like this car a lot. I think you can get pretty far. It's already got gauges, a really cool hood. Something that I think from a starting point is a really nice car. So because it was not under the 20,000 threshold, it didn't make our cut for the deals of the week. But this is certainly of great value, and I think something that if you're not intending on building your own car and you want a place to start, I think this makes for a really really nice setup, and just a overall really nice duster. All right, so let's get into the deals of the week. This first one is a complete car, comes in a different color. It is a small block. It did meet our price threshold of under 20,000. It's a 1973, and if you know the difference between the 73s and 74s, 73 was the last year that they offered the small bolt. 1974 they went with the larger bolt pattern rims, the 4.5. So if it is a V8 car, typically the front discs are an option that you get, and then also you do get the larger bolt pattern. So 73, it could be sort of either way. It's mostly looks like original car. Really nice paint. Close to matching interior color. So that tan. I just really like this one overall. So this makes our number 5 deal of the week. We found this one on angrycylinders.com under listings, and it is in Crystal Lake, Illinois, which isn't too far from where we're at. So if you have this one, you want to bring it home and get started, it's a really nice car. If you want to leave it as is, I think from an investment perspective, it's really nice. And then it's got a couple of options, Matt, if you want to talk about. I know you picked out a few details.
He gave me some details. So the showroom he calls Angry Cylinders, which you covered already. The owner says that he specializes in low production models and Mr. Norm cars, which is pretty neat. Says he's got over 30 Mopars, and I definitely would say it's worth checking out, especially when you see things like this alligator top. That's very, very fancy.
Deal number 4 comes in at a really nice price, 8,500. It is a 1974 Plymouth Duster located in Sacramento. We found this car on Sacramento Craigslist. It is already a big block, so the car's been converted to a big block with manifolds. I think that makes it a nice car for a starting point. It looks like he's done some body work to clean it up a little bit. Got some rally wheels. Interior looks like it could probably use some work, but again, if you're building a race car or you're going street strip, you're probably going to want to put in buckets and get to a roll cage. Unless, again, I think it's a great starting place. A really nice car. Looks like the grill's complete. And again, that price I think is really solid. And of course, if you're going out to Sacramento, there's a lot of things you can do when you're out on the West Coast. What a fantastic town.
I was going to say, if you're a Californian, you'll definitely know. Closest to this, of course, is Sacramento Raceway Park. So I'd say that if you're going to go and check the car out, it's at least worth going and checking out the track. Yeah, and then I don't know how crazy you are, but if you're thinking that maybe you want to decide to take the car down and do a test pass, even though I don't know if I personally wouldn't.
Yeah, so if I'm a big block guy buying this car, I don't think I would take it to Sacramento and make passes on what is probably a 7 1/4, 8 1/4 car. Although maybe if you're brave enough and you want to throw a set of softer tires on there, you can get a test pass like Roadkill does and see what you get out of it. All right. Deal number 3. I really like this. This is not a Duster. This is actually a Valiant, but it is a 1970. There is a lot done, and it's in a form where the buyer can finish it off. So the car is coming, on a body cart. Is includes a lot of parts. It looks like a lot of the body work is already done. There's some really some polish that the builder has put into it, including these really cool CUDA fins that he grafted into the fenders, and it looks like he did a really great job of that. So, very unique, very different, and of course, it's not in a finished color, so it looks like body work is done in primer, which means that you can pick whatever your color you want. And of course, since it's disassembled, you've got a good starting point to finish it off in any direction that you really want. I love personally buying cars in this state because from here on you can pretty much pick what you want, and a lot of the hard dirty work is done. So like when we finish cars off, we start with a good water blast. We get all of the exterior and undercarriage garbage off the car. That's already been done. So from here on, you can also really see what you're getting because the photographs kind of detail out the condition. It's already been frame tied, just an overall. And the thing that I really like, and the reason it made deal number 3, is that the price I think is right, 4,900, with the amount of work that's been done just to get it to this point, and you can roll it up into your trailer. I think you get it home and you can start planning on finishing off that drive line and then getting it in the color you want. This was on Facebook Marketplace, and it looks like it's in Tiffin.
Tiffin, Ohio. And I found a little bit about Tiffin, Ohio.
Okay.
So they opened up a Civil War museum 10 years ago. Yeah, and it's interesting because they have a plethora of information based on Ohio's perspective of the war and their involvement in the war. So if you're a history fanatic, definitely worth checking out.
Awesome.
I also wanted to make a quick note. These splitters, very much
Yeah.
CUDA styled, and
Right.
same with the gas cap on the car. He's also got the fuel cap.
All right. So he took a Valiant and he put some Cuda flavor into it to make it a little bit different. That's pretty neat. What and the buyer says that it's going on eBay if it doesn't sell while it's on Facebook, so know that there's kind of a time limit. I didn't look at any of the other details on this particular. Click on see more. Let's open that up to see
Sure,
what else is in
there's
there.
got quite a lot of information here. This car did actually go up on eBay.
Okay.
I did see it, and I watched the listing end, but he's still selling the car.
Tubs are rolled for clearance to accommodate a 28 by 10.5 tire. Car does not include hood, rear bumper, rear valance, front suspension, or rear suspension. So that's deal number 3 for this week. Deal number 2 for this week is above our price threshold, but will get you to the point at which I think most people would like to end up. We found this 1971 Dodge Demon, made our deal list because it is a finished car and it's got a really nice rim set. It's got a nice rake, a small block. It's got a tubular front, Magnum Force probably, if I had a guess, and looks like maybe Caltrax, but it's got MSD. Really nice oiling system, a lot of finishing items, Willwood discs. Looks like a Caltrac rear. I can see that it's aftermarket axles, longer studs. Definitely has an aftermarket suspension setup. Looks like it's been to shows, so this car's already got a little bit of fame. Real nice fit and finish, great color. I think this is one of those ready to rock. And again, the town it's in is Stafford.
Stafford is in Virginia. So
Any
this is interesting. I found a little information on a cool event. It's a brewery actually holds. They call themselves Six Bears and a Goat. Uh, quite a wild name, I'd say. But they do host a few events throughout the year. The one that
yeah.
really caught my attention, I think this is good charity. They call it Freedom Fest. They support local craft beer, music, and history. The ultimate goal is to raise money for veterans and first responders. So
Oh, that's
definitely,
fantastic.
definitely very good.
So that's fantastic. So if you get out to the East Coast to pick up this car, not only have you got a place to be able to take it, but you've got some really good things that you can do while you're out there. Like any other car that we're going to recommend, you probably want to talk to the owner to make sure that that car is drivable. To me, I'd trailer something like this home. but it's definitely one of those that you want to consider because it's already finished and it looks fantastic. All right. Let's move to the steal of the week. At a cost of $10,100 as the asking price, this 1972 Plymouth is surely a deal. I like this car because I think from a color perspective, it'll get you started. The black top, it's got the rally wheels. Looks like 340 hockey stripes. Overall fit and finish is really nice. It looks like it's got the right grille, full exhaust. It's got the proper tips. Overall, I just think because it's also a 4-speed manual, that makes it really different. A lot of fit and finish is already there. Looks like a really solid car to get started with. Exhaust system, buckets, black interior. There's really nothing that you can't like about this car. And it's in Port Byron.
All right, so a little bit about Port Byron. You're actually going to know exactly where this is. This is just about 20 minutes south of Cordova, and we know it's in Cordova. One of our actual hometown tracks, Cordova Dragway. We've been there a couple times. They are opening season April 22nd of this year. That is relatively soon. So if you're going to buy this car relatively soon, you can visit the track opening.
Take the 4-speed, drive over, show it off, and get started on getting some fans for this car. So one thing that we've done that is different than in the past 2 episodes that we did, we actually have available together on a technology called Airtable, and it has a couple of extensions, some analytics that have rolled up so that you can look at the number of cars by the sites that we found them on. And then, of course, there's a map to show you the different states. So depending on where you're at in the country and where you want to travel to be able to take a look at or pick up a car, it'll give you a couple of things that make life easier when you're going to make a purchase.
If people are interested, this is kind of how we've been keeping track of our nominations and our deals, in case you're interested in finding any of those cars. And we put together a little bit of simple data here, just showing off, where these cars are at, where we found them, prices, and whether or not we're considering them deals, steals, or nominations. So
It's also available at v8vote.com on our ReadyChassis website. While you're there, we'd really appreciate the business of aftermarket parts. And again, we offer kits and components so you can see what the twisted package looks like and what we offer for that build. This has been Steals and Deals, episode number 3, the twisted episode, and look forward to hearing back from your nominations for next week. If you like this kind of YouTube show, please do like and subscribe and opt for notifications so that you can get updates as we release a show every week. If you want to vote on what we cover next, or you have a car that you'd like to suggest that you might be selling, go to v8vote.com and nominate a new model or submit your muscle car classic for the next upcoming issue of Steals and Deals. Thanks for watching.